so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot on the passenger side, we so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. She give me a. Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome to another one, man. It's your boy Rob One, and this is Sparking Conversation. And y'all know what I do each and every week, man. I get up here and I talk to some of the world's most interesting people. But tonight, just like last week, yo, we're not doing that. What I like to do is, being that we're getting close to the end of the season and the end of the year, I'm just looking at the platform a little bit differently. So, I always have guests because my platform is always open to guests. But I've been receiving so many videos throughout the course of the year, and I've not had a chance to actually react or even share some of the videos with you. I have a bunch of information, those other things I like to share for. I always bring a guest up, but it's so many different videos of different points I like to bring up. And then even in that, I like to know just based on how y'all feel in the comments about certain things. And also, I'm incorporating something that I'm getting ready to do that's a little new. All right. So what I'm doing now is I want to do this "Did you know" segment, right? Because it's certain things that I was just like, yo, I didn't know, and I want to know if my audience knew these things, right? So I got one of those for y'all today. So we're gonna react to some videos tonight, right? Because it falls in line to a lot of different things that I be seeing up here on the platform when it comes down to certain things in your life, right? But before we get into that, y'all know what I got to do. I got to start the show off with giving thanks to all the people that download the audio version of this platform. Y'all the real MVPs. I say that each and every week because it's real. Because I tell y'all, man, it's a lot that it goes into doing these platforms, but also it means something when you know that people are out there watching and they checking for you, and they are checking for what you and your guests are talking about, and they are really, you know what I'm saying, they really into it. So thank y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all know I'm gonna tell y'all that each and every week, man. Thank y'all to all the people that download the audio version of this platform. And we're everywhere, right? Spotify, Apple, Tidal, everywhere that you stream audio versions of platforms, we are there. So thank y'all, man. Also, for those of y'all that are out there, listen, I want y'all to know, like, yo, I'm not a gatekeeper. If you have a platform, if you have something that you want to get out, even if you just want to do the audio version, because remember, podcasting is about the audio version. This part right here, the visual, yeah, that's cool. That's the added on. Like we said, that's the extra. But it's really about the audio. So if you wanted to do something, remember, if you need to distribute your audio, I got it for y'all. I got a link in the description. All you got to do is click on the link in the description, y'all. And it's RSS feed, right? And you could get your own feed, get your own link, and you can distribute to all these different places that that do audio versions of podcasts and get your joint going, y'all. Like, it's really no excuse nowadays. If you don't have the great camera, you got a phone, so you can always extract the audio from whatever you're talking about and then make it happen, right? So it's an extra layer to everything. It's just that don't put it in your mindset that everybody is doing it. When anytime you tell somebody something, which you shouldn't be telling people your dreams and visions anyway, because they're not gonna get it. You know what I mean? You could answer questions after they already see it's been done, but like really telling people what your goal is and your dreams, don't do that, right? Because you're always gonna get a bunch of people that ain't gonna do nothing but try to project their fears onto you, right? You know what I'm saying? And try to make you feel like, yo, check this out. You can't do that. Or if you do that, it's this. It's always somebody that's want to be negative Nancy's in your dream and vision. Or if you tell them something, they're going to be the first thing they're going to bring up is something negative. Like, I don't know why people think they helping you with that. Like, and God bless people, right? That's trying to do that thing that they call keep it real. But, there's a lot of times you could tell people your dreams or tell them your goals, and the first thing they do is they go to a negative thing. It's like, yo, what are you doing? It's like, we understand like what life is like that. Just getting up, going to work, or going outside the door every day, or even in your home. You know what I mean? People are not here no more because it's something that happened in their home, not necessarily outside. So things that happen every day. We know that. So
we don't live in fear. So we don't speak from a space of fear. We know it could happen, but shoot, we don't care. We're not living for that. That's why we living in our dreams and our goals, right? But even in that aspect, you got to remember, y'all, it's a lot of times that it's just certain things you just need to keep to yourself until it comes to fruition. But what we want to do is to make sure that you guys out there know that there are means to getting things started, even if you don't have everything it takes to have the look, so to speak. Right? So the link is in the description, rssfeed.com. You guys go in there, you can click the link and you can go there, you can start for free. And then if you find value in it, then you could go ahead and get your subscription. It's really a low monthly subscription. And what it does is it helps you get your audio version everywhere it needs to go. And that's just what you need, right? That's what you want, right? So that's the vibe. Okay, so look, before I do, I got some comments already, but before we get into that, double salute to everybody that's already checking in with your boy, man. I definitely appreciate y'all. I got to remember, because people tell me all the time, I got to share my live in different places. So that's what I'm getting ready to do real quick. Because we're live on Facebook right now, right? You know what I'm saying? So for all of y'all that's watching right now, I'm going to share it into some groups. And then listen, because I got some things I want to discuss with y'all today. All right. So I'm gonna share it in some groups right now. And yeah, man, let's go, man. Right? Okay. So check this out. Bet. Look, y'all know that I'm a content creator all the way across the board, but not just that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a filmmaker too. And I know based on the skits and the short films, a lot of people may not take that a certain way. You know what I mean? Or maybe even look at it that way. But I'm claiming it already. I'm just doing the thing that they call crawl before you walk. Right? I have full-length movies ready to go. Everything is ready to go, but until then, I'm getting the iron hot. I'm loading the clip. I'm letting people know that it's creativity floating on around here. All right, we're not playing. So, Stormed In Part 3 dropped today. And I'm so appreciative to everyone that already pushed play. If you watching me right now on Facebook, I want y'all to know that on Facebook, pinned to my profile, the new episode of Stormed In is there, part 3. You could go check it out. Me and the crew. It's a series, right? It's a skit series about me supposedly the only one that has power in the storm. But really what happens is my crew plays me. They all get together, conspire to come over my house and eat up all my food and drink up all my stuff, because that's what friends do. But here's the thing. We try to keep everything in a perspective where we staying creative and we motivated, and we're going to keep bringing y'all these joints and keep dropping it on y'all. So thank y'all to all the people that's pushed play on Stormed In already, y'all. Y'all been pushing play on Stormed In, and thank y'all. And today is the first day it drops, so we're going to keep it moving. And in 2 weeks, part 4 will be out. So every 2 weeks, you're going to get a new piece of content from me and the crew. And we got even more coming after that, right? And don't forget, Kill No One Part 1 and Kill No One Part 2 is out right now as well, too. Short film comedies, right? We did it. We came back to back. We wanted to make sure that y'all understood. So over the summer, we dropped 2 bangers, right? And then we going into the fall with the Stormed In. So we staying motivated. We staying focused. So thank y'all to all y'all already pushing play on that. Collective Wear. Y'all see it. Bet on yourself. Bet on yourself, man. Word, because that's what it's about, yo. I know there's so many people out here who, like I say, y'all got these things inside of y'all that y'all haven't done because of other things and other thoughts and other people. And I'm telling y'all, no matter what it looked like, bet on yourself. You can never go wrong by investing in you. You can never go wrong by betting on yourself. Yeah, it's gonna be scary. Yeah, everything may not go the way you want it to go, but if you just bet on you, I promise you, man, what you're looking for will be on the other side of that. And it's just that simple. right? It's not simple to go through things sometimes. Yeah, like think about it. Even the process to get a diamond, for all you guys out there that have diamonds, real diamonds, the process to get that diamond, it took so much pressure for you to be able to have that piece of diamond or that piece of jewelry that you have, no matter where it's at on your body. They went through so much pressure to become that beautiful piece of stone that you wear or rock every day. So just not think that everything that's beautiful didn't take a whole lot of pressure or some type of adversity to get to that beauty, right? So we got to remember that. Like, yo, it may not be easy and it may not look like it's going to work out, but I promise y'all, if you believe in yourself and whatever that goal or whatever that dream is, that you're going to get there. All right. So I'm just saying, yo, just stay focused. All right. Um, what else? What else? 420 in the fall. So for those of y'all that's watching right now, y'all know the vibes. 420 in the fall, y'all. It's going down this Saturday. This Saturday, one of the dopest networking events in the building. I'm looking for actors, actresses. I'm looking for brand ambassadors. Come on out. Link with me. Link with your boy. We putting in the work. I want to get more people involved. We want to move this thing around. And we want to really get to it, right? So look, we developing characters, we developing all types of content. So I need the people. So this is what we doing. So I want y'all to come out and meet me, right? So we could go ahead and chop it up and see if it's a good fit for you. And if it is, we're gonna get to work. Just that simple, right? And I'm also looking for brand ambassadors for collective wear. Right, we got a dope little system going on, getting commission off of the gear you sell. Come on, y'all. I'm putting it back into the system, right? So if you're a model, if you're an actor, or actress, if you any of that, listen, so many times y'all getting in front of these cameras, y'all, and y'all being used, these photographers, nothing wrong with that. They getting they working, they shooting y'all for free. But listen, anytime y'all publish yourselves or put yourselves out online, trust me, people are using your likeness. And even the brands that y'all be wearing that y'all don't have no affiliation with, at least with the collective we you got an affiliation. So if you front of that camera, you got that gear on. So if they gonna pick y'all off, because you know they be putting y'all on flyers, or you live in North Carolina, you want to fly over in Texas somewhere. You don't even know, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, so if you got some gear on, if you got something that's always representing you, and something that every time somebody look at you, you could point them somewhere that they could get something, and it brings it back to you. Why not do that? Why not make that a part of your hustle? Word, because that's what it's about, right? So look, I'm looking for y'all, man. So come through. If you know what to do, hit us up. Litsticksbrand@gmail.com. Put vibes in the subject. I'll get y'all the information, put y'all on the guest list, and y'all come rock with your boy, yo. All right. Okay, so before we get into the show, I got one more thing. I wanted to let y'all know I got a new brand on deck that's rocking with the crew, sparking conversation, and it's from the Feel Goods brand, y'all. I infuse THC hemp seltzer. So look, I got some information about it. I want to read off to y'all real quick because look, man, let's be real. There are a lot of things, right? There are a lot of things out there that people, when it comes down to, different products or different things that's out there, there are a lot of people out there who are looking for different, ways to kind of help themselves relax themselves in different ways, right? So I'm always blessed when a brand feels like, yo, partnering up with the crew is something fly, and it makes them feel like, yeah, yo, I wanna rock with them, yo. I wanna get them an opportunity to partner up with the brand. So that's what they did, and I'm so thankful for it because look, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. We all put ourselves in a position where we try to do the best that we can with whatever we're doing. But the fact that when other people recognize it, we gotta just be thankful for that because it could not be that. But let me tell y'all a little bit about what's going on with the Goods Feel brand, right? So listen, this is a cannabis seltzer from shopgetgoodsfeels.com. This offers a new era of refreshment. Crafted with high quality natural ingredients, these beverages provide a consistent, enjoyable, uplifting experience perfect for any occasion. Enjoy an exclusive discount with my code. And my code is RAH1, RAH and the number one. You get 20% off. Now, if you go to the site by itself, they offer in 10%. rock with your boy, you get 20% off, man. So the link is in the description of this video. So go check it out. Click on them and get you some feel goods. All right. Some good feels in the building. All right. So let's get into the show. All right. Thank y'all to all y'all that's already on. I see some comments already. Let me figure this out. All right. Let me see what comments we got going on already. My boy Cam, salute. Oh, yo, my boy Cam, salute. I definitely appreciate you, bro, checking in. It's always good to see people, you know what I'm saying, supporting the brand that I know. Breaking the Silence podcast with Nikki Nicole. Thank you so much. Hey, Ra, how are you? Sliding through the support. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm good. All right. We outside. You know what I'm saying? We putting in the work. We developing brands. We building the brands. So I'm thankful. I'm blessed. And I'm thankful that you checked in and you're good because you got to be good because you here on the check-in. So I'm praying that everything is good in your life too. I, Nikki Nicole, I definitely do. So thank you for the checking in. Myra Enterprise 100, definitely appreciate the check-in as well. You know the vibes. Everybody that checks in, that's the vibe, yo. I love when everybody puts comments and they interact with the show and they give their opinions or they, you know, or they just be in the mix because it just helps just for things to understand, like things are being understood. And it's a different perspective too. So a lot of times my guests or the people that's watching, when they put up comments and stuff, it comes from a different perspective that we all need to know because everybody don't know everything. That's why it's so good to work together, right? So look, y'all, let's get into the meat of things because I got some videos I want to show you. I'm gonna share my screen with y'all, and I want to show y'all some videos, man, because the one thing I wanted to talk about in this particular instance before I show this video, because this is going to be a did you know portion. So for the last week, y'all know last week, right? Everything that they've been talking about was the rapture. Everybody's been talking about the 3-Eye Atlas is coming, what the 3-Eye Atlas represents, because there's been so many different hieroglyphs, kind of in a way where the drawings are in a way where it kind of depicts what they're saying the 3-Eye Atlas is, and you know, as far as the one that's supposed to be heading to Earth. And there's so many different theories. And, you know, last week it was a thing, it was trending about everybody talking about the rapture was coming, boom, boom, boom. That didn't happen. So then the following week, we had the whole thing with all of the generals supposedly being called away from their stations for a briefing, so to speak. And whenever something like that happens, it's just kind of weird that they will put that out in the public. Now, see, I know when it comes down to things like war and plans and stuff like that, you know, they got to maneuver in a certain way where it's covert, where it just can't be information that's out there. So for the media, so to speak, to be leaking the fact that the generals are being called away from their battle stations to reconvene over here in the States because of a meeting and all that, leaving all of these different places vulnerable, especially when they know they have enemies. Okay, so what I guess what I'm trying to say is that if y'all can help me, for those of y'all that's watching, does that sound like a psyop to y'all or what? Like, I don't know. Like, what do y'all think? Because to me, that's just not some information that they will leak out to the public, letting them know that all the generals have been taken away, right? From their perspective posts that they're commanding to make sure that they're protecting what we call these shores and these borders so people just can't come and infiltrate because it's a lot of water between us and other countries, right? So, you know, there's a lot that needs to be protected when it comes down to that. So whenever that happens, how you just gonna be putting it out there like, yo, they ain't gonna be there. They're gonna be over here chilling. And or in their meeting. It don't make sense to me, yo. I bet. But the thing that people keep saying is that they keep tying that into what they consider this what all the underground cities and underground bunkers, and they calling them in because they expect something to be happening coming up real soon. And the thing that a lot of people are trying to say that is coming up real soon is, you know, that is going to be a blackout. Now, they've been going through all these different things to divide the people, right? Right? Having all these black versus white things happening, all the cops versus civilian things happening, all, of just a bunch of strange occurrences that's happening to just keep people in a state of separation, right? Making it feel like it's some type of civil division going on out here in the streets. So with that being said, because there's a lot of people who are falling for that, right? And we see it every day because we have a bunch of people that look like me who still is out here claiming whether they are a Democrat or a Republican when we should not be neither or. Like, what are you talking about? Because the same slavery that took place that everybody is still, screaming on, whatever the free stuff or the free labor or whatever the benefits that benefited the people that had the free whatever they got from slave, it happened whether it was on one side or the other. It's not a difference. So the fact that they use politics to separate us, they use race to separate us, they use, religion and all these other things to keep us separated, that we fall for the tricks with the emotions. They put us in our emotional bag where people are against each other. They had the young black kid with the stabbing, or the young white boy at the track meet. All of these different things, yo, right? So, they got all these things that's coming out with this new blackout. Now, remember, this blackouts has been happening. It's been happening since been happening. It's a bunch of different times or points in history, especially since modern times, where there's been blackouts in New York, blackouts in San Francisco, blackouts in different places, right? But what they're doing is they're putting us in a position where they're feeling like, yo, this thing is going to happen because they want to invoke some type of civil just breakout, right? Almost like a purge, so to speak. Because if you think about it, what's going to happen if all the stuff go out where everybody don't have access to their conveniences? They feel like everybody's going to turn halfway savage. There'll be a bunch of break-ins. There'll be a bunch of all kind of things just going on because there'll be no law, no order, because of nothing being able to work, whatever. And so that gives them a means of being able to usher in what they call martial law. And then in that martial law, we'll be able to enact what they call this new government, this new system, right? This new one world system, this whatever that people feel like the plan is. The plan is to make us do that, right? And I'm looking at it, right? And I'm looking at it really from a different lens. I'm trying to be this person that always looks at it from God is in control. God is in control. God is in control. But when we got to pay attention to what's in front of us, right? Because in that, if that happens, and that does happen in the blackouts and people do turn savage, instead of working together, see, that would be the corny shit. The corny shit would be for people to turn savage versus people understanding that it's a psyop. And then look, if we use that opportunity to work together, they have so many different communities out here that work on a bartering system. Like, yo, what are you good at? We could trade this for that. It's not a thing where you have to go kicking in people's doors because the electricity don't work. You don't got to go rob people for food and all this other stuff. It's plenty of people that got canned goods and stuff. Some people may need certain things fixed. If you got the tools, and yo, they got the extra food for you. You got family. Like, it's so much going on that you don't have to resort to this whole, leave the world behind mentality, because that's what they want us to do. So I feel like in certain instances, we do have to be prepared for things because at night it's going to be dark. So I want to share my screen with y'all about something, because just in case some people don't have candles, because I understand, like, in aesthetics, like, people probably sometimes they don't have candles, or it's just something that they just really, think about, because, hey, let's think about it. People got lights and they just feel like, yo, I got lights, so why would I need candles? And fortunately around here, we keep candles on deck, a bunch of them, because I just like candles. I even like the smell from candles. So I'm a candle person, right? So, I'm gonna share my screen with y'all, man, because yo, I just wanna I got to because yo, I want y'all to get this because this is gonna be my did you know segment. Because the one thing about it, you may not have candles, but I think each and every person have these ingredients that this young lady is getting ready to show us if you don't have candles, or if it comes down to that you do have candles and throughout an extended period of time you don't have enough candles. Well, we have a way that you can make a candle and it doesn't go out unless you put it out. So that's fly because that'll even last longer than the candle. Now it ain't gonna help your house smell good, but it'll keep that light, that light lit, right? I bet. So look, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna share my screen real quick because I want to make sure that I got it going on for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, right?
When the power goes out, you'll probably need a better candle than something like this. Come with me, I'll show you what to do. Grab a glass, put some rice in, add water to your rice, and top it off with vegetable oil. Then grab a Q-tip and place it in. Now you light the Q-tip. Your candle will remain lit endlessly. If you don't want to be in the dark, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 300,000.
All right, y'all. So I wanted to, yeah. So that's Pam, right? So I want y'all to go check out Pam, all right? Because that's why I wanted to make sure it played to the end because she to give her props for that, giving out that tidbit. Because if y'all didn't know that, that would be a great way for you guys to make sure that you got light and you got endless light, right? Even if you don't have the candles, because it's not going to evaporate. The grease or the oil, the vegetable oil is not going to evaporate. And because the extra, the oil is what it is, it's going to keep the flame lit. And so, that's just something that a lot of people didn't know about because remember, back in the day, they used to use oil lamps, right? The oil lamps would be on the whole night. Somebody used to have to go put that lamp out. They used to have a guy walking through the city streets with this joint, and if he would have to use to put the lights out in the daytime in order for them to save it so they could come back around and light it again. So this is just something for y'all to know. Vegetable oil, rice, water, and in a glass, boom. But be careful how close you put the thing up because remember the grease, you know what I mean? So just make sure you do it the right way and you have it and you have an endless light, right? So that's from my Did You Know segment. Because look, I didn't know that. And for those people who didn't know that, these are things that you need to know in the event that the lights do go out, the power do go out. It's just one less thing that you have to worry about. If you don't have candles, if you have rice, if you have water, and if you have vegetable oil. And I think most people have those things because people mostly eat rice as a side dish at home whenever they cooking, right? And then water, the sink, or if you got water, bottled water or whatever, if your water stopped running or whatever. But then the vegetable oil, everybody got vegetable oil, even if you got some leftover vegetable oil from some damn grease. And oil and water don't mix. So once you pour the water in there, the oil is going to sit on top of the water. So it's not going to mix. So once that does, and then you put the Q-tip in, everybody got Q-tip. You should. I mean, that's just a part of hygiene. I don't know. I know they say don't use Q-tips because it pushes wax in your ear, but growing up, we know the Bob. Like, yo, it's just a way you got to do it, and it works. It gets whatever they can get up out of you, and if your ear ever itching there, a Q-tip is a lifesaver. To get in there, itch if your ear ever itching too. So listen, people got Q-tips, and if not, it's a good time, man, for y'all to grab a couple of these items, right? Go to the dollar store or whatever, get you a pack of 3, 4, 500 Q-tips. Order you some off of Amazon, whatever you need. Keep a bag of rice in the crib. Everybody got glasses, at some point. You know, you can't use no plastic cup for this. You can't. But yo, you get you a glass, you got it. You know what I mean? And then listen, if you got a tin cup or something like that, tin cup, you can use that too, and that'll work, right? But listen, y'all, the lights go out, you got lights. That's from my Did You Know segment because listen, I got so many more, but we're going to stretch those out as we go because I want to make sure that we keep getting this information of different little tactics that we can use to help survive. So, just in case, because look, I know a lot of people are not into growing things, but now is the perfect time for you guys to use AI and all these other things to learn how to grow, learn what seeds are, like all the vegetables, all the fruit and stuff that you guys get that come with seeds, make sure you kind of find a way like, yo, listen, all right, I got this seed. What can I do with this seed? Avocados, whatever. What can I do with this seed? How can I get this to grow this and regrow my own plant? And then you guys, because if you kind of think about it, y'all, the three things that has been used against society to control them, right, is the three main necessities that we need to survive as humans, and it's food, clothing, and shelter, right? Food, clothing, and shelter. We pay for everything, right? And it's crazy because we even buy land, that nobody created. Like a person has a deed on some land that they bought that they never created. Like who sold them for the first person to own the land? Who sold them the land? Like, kind of think about that. Like, yo, it's just a lot of things that we do on a day-to-day basis that don't make sense, but we rationalize it in our lives because it's become a norm. It's become normal for us to be used, right? So slavery never ended. If you kind of look at it from that perspective, if it's a mentality, because the way that we are as a group of people mentally is we're still in those same chains. We're still on those plantations. It's just not literal anymore. It's more figuratively, but not literal. We're just not literally on the cotton field no more, but technically, mentally, we're still there. So why do you think that virtual reality is going to be so prevalent coming up in the future where people are going to live their lives behind a pair of Oculus because of the way their real life is? They don't feel like their real lives is something. So they're going to live this phony fantasy life throughout that. Can y'all imagine? Like, and there's a lot of people who are already doing that right now, living vicariously through video games and all of these other things. Like, they don't even enjoy life. Like, they don't even go places. They feel like their life is so bad because all they do is their routine each and every day. So they escape it by falling into video games. And there's nothing wrong with video games. I play video games sometimes. But it's literally sometimes. And it's not to prove to be better or worse than anybody else at all. I'm not knocking nobody that play video games. I'm saying though, if that's all you doing with life is playing video games, like you telling me you go to work and every day you go to work, you come home, you playing a video game till you go to bed. Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I'm not judging. I'm just saying that's just my opinion. But what I'm saying to you, like any type of escape that you got to do versus being able to enjoy nature, being able to just enjoy your surroundings and just being thankful for what you have, or being able to travel and do all these other things that people are able to do. Some people take so much stuff for granted. And that's why, fear and the way that they talking about now puts people in that space. Like, yo, we really are out here living in desperation out of fear. And that's corny. But I just wanted to know if y'all knew that, right? I just wanted to know if y'all kind of knew that. Like if that was something that you guys really put into perspective, right? I really don't know, y'all, because for those of y'all that's watching, I want y'all to, to put in the comments real quick because I do see some comments. Hold on, let me see what's going on. My boy Cam said, yeah, that's strange info for sure. right? I think that was back referring to what I was talking about when it comes down to leaking the fact that all the generals is going. That's crazy work to me. That's if that is supposed to be real, that's crazy. And then they had Pete Hegseth. They've been talking about what he's been talking about, his speech to all of the military and everything that's supposed to have happened with that. About getting woke out of the military and all these other things. And they demonized the word woke, attached it to a bunch of crazy stuff. But so people have been all up in arms about that. So it's weird. So it still don't make sense to me that they just said that out loud for everybody to know and the enemies to know and all that other shit. That's crazy. They've been talking about a blackout since 1999. Yeah, you're right. And it's been blackouts. You know what I mean? Since then. You know what I mean? It's been blackouts since then. In certain places, it's been blackouts. But that's the thing. You know what I mean? They talking about universally or a whole seaboard or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they talking about it in that perspective. Right? And so when you think about it from that way, it'll be like a distance of just things just not working no more. Conveniences that people normally have, they don't. So if it's a person who normally get medicine, they're not getting no medicine. If people who got electric vehicles, if they don't got solar powered something to be able to charge their electric vehicles, that's going to be a wrap for a while, right? Gas pumps, all the gas pumps are electric now. Right, unless you go out into the rural areas but then whatever gas they have is going to be gone once people get out there to those for the people who live out there, because people not only going to get gas for their cars, they're going to get gas for their generators, because some people got generators, right? So they're going to be going to get gas cans and getting all these other things. So they're going to be buying up and filling up gas. So gas is not going to be around long without somebody coming to refill it. So what I'm saying to y'all, that a lot of convenience, the grocery store, think about it. If there's no electricity, there's no refrigeration. So a lot of things will be spoiled if people don't have access to it. So that means that whatever you have, you're going to have to cook it. Like, so for meat and stuff like that, you're going to have to cook it and try to survive off of leftovers that's cooked. Find a way to put the leftovers in a way where you can have it some type of way. Like you're going to have to figure it out. Some people that have generators, so they probably have little freezers and little refrigerators they could hook up to their, to their generators and stuff like that, where they could keep things a little longer than average people. But charcoal, all of that other stuff, you're gonna have to have all of that stuff on deck so you can, you know what I mean? Because it's not gonna be convenient, y'all. Right? And then if you guys are not into fasting and stuff like that, where you can teach your body on how to survive for one meal a day or whatever, just based on, just survival and being able to understand just fighting the flesh. If you're not doing that, then it's gonna be hard for you. It's gonna be hard for you, yo. And so a lot of people got to start thinking about those type of things now, yo, because it's not living in fear, it's just being protected. You know what I mean? What you saying, Cam? I definitely didn't know about the endless life. Facts. Thank you. Because I didn't either, bro. And that's why this platform exists, because I could bring information and I hope that I'm giving people some type of value, because to me, that's super valuable, because water, rice, glass, and vegetable oil, and you got a candle? Oh, man. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Right? And so with that being said, that's dope. But listen, y'all, I got another video. Now, this is a different perspective. This is a perspective about church, right? Definitely a perspective about church. Now, this young lady's perspective, I want it because, like I said, shout out to all the people that send me videos. I definitely appreciate y'all, because I've gotten so many videos. And this one right here, I thought this would be interesting to get y'all's opinion. So I got a few of y'all on right now. I definitely would love to get y'all opinion on this, right? Because this young lady, she definitely gives her opinion about church and then women in church. So I just wanted to get y'all perspective. So look, I'm gonna share my screen real quick, right? And I want y'all to watch this video with me. We gonna react to it, and I want y'all that's watching in the comments. I want y'all to jump in the comments and give me your honest feedback of what you think. Do you think she cooking, or do y'all think that she doesn't have a point? I don't know, but we gonna find out real quick because that's what it's about, right? Because you know we do that over here. All right, so hold on. Let me get it. Let me get it right.
The Black church's focus is not on building families. It's about keeping women single, comfortable, independent. I said what I said. Just look at the numbers. The church is 70 to 80% single women. And the pastor want to sell these women this fairy tale telling them that your Boaz is coming. Keep waiting, knowing good and well that there isn't any single men in the congregation. And that's low-key manipulation. Because the men aren't flocking to the churches because the churches are catered to women. The sermons shame men and pamper women. The programs be women brunches, women conferences, women's night. The churches know who paid the tithes. It's the women. So they selling the women these dreams while cashing their checks. And let's be real, the men that are in the churches are either one already married, gay, or looking for some silly woman to take advantage of. You got to ask yourself, if the church is really about family, why is it full of single mothers, single women, and empty of men? Because the Black church needs the women single, desperate, and waiting. Because if you had the family that you prayed for, then they wouldn't be able to control you.
Yeah. So listen, what y'all think? Do y'all think that she has a point? Do y'all think that she assessed it from a woman who's actually gone to church and been in church and been told certain things about church? Because I know me personally, I've had plenty of conversations with people throughout the years, and definitely women have said, you know, if they want a man that's in church, they going to church to see if a man is going to fall up in church, because that's the thing. They want a man to be a follower. You know what I mean? And sometimes they rather him follow the church instead of following God, because if he's following God, then you know that the church is just it's a place of worship, not a place of follow. You know what I mean? But what y'all think? There's a few of y'all on right now. Y'all watched it. Y'all heard what she said. Let me know what y'all think, because I personally understand where she's coming from, because church has been a place where it's been a bunch of single women there, and um and it's just a lot of things that she said that just is really true. And for the most part, they do shame men, and it's a lot of different sermons. Because I even know, even me, for example, when I used to be a member of a church, you know what I mean, and I'm not gonna say the name because I like the people, right? Like, so I don't want it to feel like I'm taking shots at a particular church, because I like the people, I like the pastors, you know what I'm saying? They were dope people overall. But what I'm saying to you, like, yeah, it was plenty of different situations where there would be like a men's thing going on, and they would have conversations, and I would ask these questions, and they would, get a little upset with me. Well, a lot upset with me, because I was always that person to ask questions like, "Yo, then why is that? Like, why do y'all and these things?" And I guess in church it's more of they use the word to kind of emasculate men a little bit, to make them feel like everything that their lives is going to be based around their wife, and so. But that's just not what the word says. You know what I'm saying? The word says a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. So that means that it's got to be something that he's looking for. And in so many instances, people get married to people who they just married, but they're not wives, or they're not husbands, but they're married. Or people want to be married, but they don't want to be a wife or a husband, because this is what it takes. Because regardless of gender roles, right? We could get past, things that go on in a house, but there is a certain structure that if you are a believer in God, I mean, it's a certain structure that he sets up, right? And so as a man, you never get to relinquish your position, and your position is the leader. You just got to make sure that the person in your life wants to be led by you. That's what it really boils down to. It doesn't boil down to whether or not you should not be a leader. You have to be the leader in your home. So that means that you have to have a direction for your family. And if you explain this direction to the people who actually want to join your family, if they agree to that direction, then everybody should be working together towards that direction. You don't have that dynamic now. You got a bunch of people who want to be married, but they want to do their own separate things and not the direction of the head of the household. And we can't even hold on to certain titles because it comes with a stigma of another person feeling like they're uneven with the person. Versus if you are a believer in God, then you would believe in his structure. This is the way that he set it up. It's not a man's fault that he made us, stronger and all of these different things physically, and not and put us in the lead protective role in the house. Remember, if you are a man in the house, if you walk into a house, or if somebody breaks into your house, the man is expected to be the first one to go out there to protect his family, right? That's the goal, right? Because that's part of the provision that people don't get whenever they asking for a man to be a husband, right? But they don't want to listen to the man, right? But the number one thing that they got to realize is that this man has signed up to lay his life down for you and whatever children y'all have. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the number one thing of protection, right? The number one thing of protection is not finances, y'all. That doesn't symbolize protection. That's why so many women are falling for the fact of the matter of somebody having some money. Like, that is their protection. Women find security in finances, but that's not your security. Think about it. Your home is your sanctuary. Period. Not your job, not your car, not outside. Your home is your sanctuary. So protection of your home is first and foremost if you're in a family situation. That means that it's a structure that goes on in the protection of that home. That means that what goes out and what comes in has a direction. And if you have children, then as a family, there's never not a time that generational wealth is not the point. That's the subject. Not what I'm gonna get, not how many cars I own right now and all that. You can't pass them cars, you can pass the cars down to you if you want. It's no value in it, right? So what I'm saying to you, having all of the possessions and stuff, it has nothing to do with it. Like, yo, listen, the number one goal of the family should be generational wealth, passing down. Like, why are we not? That's not our focus. That should be the number one thing. I don't care if a blackout is supposed to come. We don't live in fear. Until it comes, this is the goal. The goal is that. And as men, we don't get to relinquish our duty. So if you having a woman in your life that wants to be equal, then listen, she got to realize that she can never be that. Yes, a woman can help protect the home. Yeah, she could pull that trigger. Yeah, she can even be a better shot than you. But that's not the goal. She can't be the first, right? Yeah, she should know how to shoot. Exactly. That's why if you ever watch martial arts, when it ever came down to a woman that's really master in martial arts, they always made her master a weapon so she could be even with a man if in a combat. That's why they made her master the weapon. This is the whole thing about self-protection. Whenever it came down to the men teaching the women how to have self-defense in the house to help protect the home, and that's even in back in the day. If y'all look at the Woman King, right? Let's look at that for example, for all y'all that saw that movie. If y'all saw that movie, them girls was nice with fighting, but they had a weapon. They were able to do the things that they did to men because they had a weapon. Women are strong. There's a lot of women that are strong, and they catch you the right way, you're going to sleep. Like Clarissa Shield, I really feel like, yeah, she'll knock a man out. I believe it. She'll knock a man out. Depending on his weight and all that other stuff, she'll put him to sleep. But if any man she will be even with, she could be even with any man if she got a weapon. She could be even with any man if she got a weapon. And that's why I'm saying that's the difference. When it comes down to protecting the home, that's right. The adults are supposed to be the first in the home. That's why it's crazy to me whenever people look at their houses and they get to comparing certain things and they don't understand. That's what the goal is. The ultimate goal is that. And then everybody should be in alignment with that. You're not going to be This is not going to be the next few generations. You're not going to have a man. Listen, women, you're not going to have a man to yourself. You're not. And I'm just telling y'all, it's not me trying to tell y'all anything about me, what I want and all that other shit. I'm just telling y'all the way it's going. You're not. Y'all not. So at some point, you're going to have to get back to understanding what the village is and understanding what it is. Some of y'all right now are complaining about your bills because it's only one of y'all. Some of y'all complain about your bills because it's only two of y'all. That's why. You get what I'm saying? It's so many different things in nature. It's so many things that comes down to God and God's word that is just aligning and trying to move people into the space, but they fighting against it with selfishness. And that's why you're going to be in the position you're going to be in, because I'm telling y'all, man, it goes beyond whatever y'all think that they trying to show us in the open. That's not what it is. You as a man, I don't care. You don't get to relinquish your position. And in your position, you're number one. You're the protector of your home. It's just a certain amount of value and a certain amount of rules that need to be followed. If the person don't trust your judgment or whatever, then they don't need to be in your life. It's not the other way around. I hear so many conversations with women and they be telling me, yo, why the man feel this way? Why he don't leave? Listen, that's not our thing. We don't emotionally make moves because you feel in some type of way. Why you think that's why men stay in these positions and they stay in these families and they stay because they not going to do that. Now, if y'all talking about, yeah, but he got all these women on the side, all that, yeah, but he going to find some peace. That's up to you whether you want to be that for him or not. You got to sign up for what you sign up for. But at the end of the day, you can't expect him not to do everything and then not to get anything. And that's not how that works. We simple. Most men are simple, especially if you got a leader, especially if you got a hustler, especially if you got a person that's a visionary. They are the most simple people because what they want to do is do right by his family. That's what they're going to do. And they're going to use what they were given to do that. They're not going to let nobody tell them what they can't do for their family. That's the point. Too many people out here keep looking at the man in their life, figuring out they thinking that they selfish and they only doing it for them. No, they sacrifice it for whoever come with it. Trust me. Men don't care about money if they got money. If that's your thing, listen, they'll spend that paper. We don't care about that. Respect is what we care about, right? We want to understand that people appreciate what we're doing for them. We want the people in our lives to understand that, yo, I'll lay down my life for you. You're going to have to listen to what I say too as well. You don't want to listen to me? Okay, go. But you're going to listen to somebody. Who you going to listen to? Most of y'all work for a company right now that's ran by a man. Your direct lead may be a woman, but she answers to a man. And if that direct lead is a woman, they answer to a man. At some point, they answer it to a man. Whatever's coming down to you is coming down from a man. You're going to listen to one way or the other, depending on what you feel like is more important to you. Is your check more important to you, or is the family that's going to be there, whether your check ain't going to be there, is more important to you? You got to figure that out. But either way it go, that's the role of that man. So it don't get to put it down or put it in his pocket because you want to be even. You can put that even shit in your pocket. It don't go that way. That's not the way it's meant to go. And if that's the way the relationship is, or your relationship is going, that's why it's so much discord. That's why that lady could come up with that video about church. Because why? Because we got too many people sitting out here thinking that they don't need a man because they got money, because that's the only thing that they look at us as. They look at us as a person that only come with a paycheck. Our value is in money. Our value is in that. If we don't have that, they got that themselves, what they need you for. And I'm saying, Ma, listen, kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Your money ain't going to help you if that happens. And no, I'm not telling you to just accept anybody just so somebody won't kick in your door. I'm telling you that you got to be prepared that just in case somebody want to kick in your door. Mind you, you live in a condo, you on the 8th floor. Ain't nobody gonna kick in your door. I bet. I get you. I got you. Whatever your mental defense is for you to be combative about what I'm saying, and don't take away from the fact that either or, it's always a position for a man in your life. And yes, I'm telling y'all ladies, listen, y'all, with the way things are going, there's so many men out here who ain't even they just males, but they not men. I'm telling y'all, and y'all see it every day. Men, there's more men out here with purses and bags and dresses and all this other corny shit. Listen, man, I ain't judging nobody. Do what you do. But at the end of the day, it don't take away from the facts. And that was a simple fact. So Shorty said what she said. I'm going to get to some comments real quick because it's a bunch of comments that was up here. So let me see. My ride. Although I don't personally attend church, I believe church shouldn't be seen as a place to find a spouse. Okay, I agree, right? I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But that's the thing about church. Church will tell you that's where you're going to find it at. Right? Because if you think about it, if the goal is for a person to be married, you know, most people want to, or women feel like they want a godly man, and they think that church is where the godly man is, or they feel like that's the man who's proven that he's godly, and that ain't it. Because we know that a person that understands God, if he's believing in God, then, you know, especially if they're a follower of Jesus, then they know that Jesus wasn't fond of no church. If they know that, then they know that the church was responsible for him being on the cross. It wasn't the drug dealers, it wasn't the gamblers, it wasn't the prostitutes, it wasn't none of those people that was responsible for putting him on the cross. It was the church. So listen, that's what they do out here, right? And I agree with you. You shouldn't be going there to find nothing. You should be going in there for whatever you feel like your spiritual walk is, your spiritual crawl is. But nah, that's where they doing, because that's how they put it out there. Listen, however, I do recognize that certain women's networking events can provide valuable opportunities to connect with others, and through those connections, it's possible to meet someone compatible. I believe that too, but then I also believe that compatibility still got to come with a person that is willing to understand the position that they're putting you in. So, for example, if a woman is going there and she meets a man that's compatible, being compatible with the man is one thing, but you still are, if you decide to be in a relationship with this man, you're saying that you're trusting this man's lead. That still comes with that particular territory. It's his lead. If you could rock with his lead and you feel like it's not going to harm you and they won't put you in the way and you can deal with that, that's what you're asking him to do once you agree to say that I'm accepting this person. And a part of that leadership is something that you got to agree with if you're going to have them there. It can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. That still comes with that. Even if you meet somebody that's compatible, compatibility which shows how people can have a sense of what can bring them together, but that's not going to keep them together, right? Like you could say, like for people who are actors, you know, there's a lot of actors who get together. We see that in Hollywood all the time, whereas this person starred in this movie with this person, now they married, and then 3 years later they divorced. Well, I mean, think about it. It's because they had something that they was compatible about, but the leadership wasn't there because the people wanted to continue to live their separate lives, but then be together. And then that's where the separation comes in at. So even when meeting somebody that's compatible, you still got to understand it's a structure. And can the structure survive with what your ultimate goal is as well? Because I believe that there's people in his lives who can live together, who both can achieve their dreams if they align with each other's goals. It still got to be based on the leadership. It got to be, right? You know, like It just has to be in a certain way if you want that particular thing to be successful. If you want the relationship to be successful. Now, if you want your career and all these other things to be successful, then that's what that would be. But in the situation of relationship, then you would be willing to follow the leader of the relationship, and the leader should be in align with your values as a person who is willing to follow, because that would be the reason why a person would pick a church, because the leaders align with their values. Or people would pick a job, right? Some people just pick a job to get a check. Well, you know, I can't say that I believe in God and then I'm going to work for the Church of Satan because they paying 6 figures. That's weird. That don't go together, right? So what I'm saying to you is that it worked both ways. So, for example, a fellow attendee might introduce you to their nephew, cousin, son, or another acquaintance, which is true. Like, there's always been people who will meet people through a third party. Again, however you are, depending on what role you're in. If you're a man and you get introduced to a woman and then you attract that woman and then y'all start putting in a position, you as a man got to be prepared to lead that woman. So if she accepts you as the leader, you got to be willing, and which means that you have to be willing to die for that woman, right? Because nothing separates the wife. People talk about this all the time about, like what separates the wife from the mom and from the sister and the auntie and the grandmother. The only thing that separates them is the physical part of sex. That's it. But a man that's a leader in his family, he gonna die for his mother, he gonna die for his grandmother, he gonna die for his sisters, and he gonna die for his wife and his kids. I get it, y'all. People want to be a number in your life. They want to be first, and some people want to be second. But that's how we say it's so hard to be a man, right? These are the factors that people down in. We don't get to pick and choose what our lives. It become those of us that are our responsibility. You don't get to know, right? As a parent, your kid becomes 18. That don't mean they stop being your responsibility. They could be whatever. They still your responsibility. You still gonna be there. Just like they don't have to treat you as, look at you as God's gift of bringing them into this world. But if they reverence you the right way, then they're going to make sure you good as long as you around as well, too, if you have the right relationship with your children. So what I'm saying to y'all is that, either way, you don't get to relinquish your position. Your position. Look, if you want to have other roles in the house, like the man want to be the one to wash the dishes and do all the cooking, and the woman want to take out trash and the dogs. And look, I don't that you can figure that out as y'all go, but it don't reverse the position that God set up. It don't, regardless. Word, my boy Jay Cook. Thanks for the check-in, man. You're correct. Appreciate that, bro. Word up. I do. We are the protectors of the home, and that's a fact. It don't change from that. This is why when other people be expecting, like, why a man should be fed first in the house when he come in? Why should a house be clean when a man walks in the house? Or why should his plate get made? Or why should somebody do this for him? I got to do this for me. Like, people don't understand the reason why a lot of women who do that have a way better life than the woman who wants to stand up and ask why, because she feel like it's not important. Because that woman understands that the value that this man brings to this household, not only does he bring regulation for the children, he also brings a level of protection that she can feel safe as she is in her most vulnerable state, and that's when she sleep. We're in our most vulnerable state when we sleep. That's the most level of protection. Why do you think that when it comes down to times of war, they have people that's on lookout, people who have to be up, and then when it's time for them to go to sleep, the other people that will sleep gonna be up. 24-hour surveillance. There's never an eye not watching when it's in a time of that. And what I'm saying to us in life is that if people gonna keep threatening us with all these other different things, or if we just got to look at the structure of our family, that's how it goes. Right? This is how it goes. Word. Cam, oh yeah, that's a fact about the movie. Facts. That's when it comes down to it. That's why, if you want to be one of those people that have or if you're a woman that's listening to me right now, you taking what I'm saying the wrong way or going watch the playback and be like, oh, he misogynistic and all that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in all aspects, yeah, there are times where women can help defend the home as well too. I'm not saying she can't pull out the ratchet, or I'm not saying she can't pull out a machete, or whatever it is that she needs to do for somebody that get around her husband. If he got 2 or 3 of them, if it's 4, like there's multiple people in the crib and whatever that go, like however that is, you know what I'm saying? But yo, what I'm saying to you is that the first line of defense is that man. And if he's already prepared, if he got them things with him in his crib, yo, people going, it don't matter how many people in the house, they're going to have to eat a few. They're going to have to, listen, they're going to have to come prepared to run up in somebody's crib. And Shorty got the gun, and Shorty got hers too. So this is what I'm saying. Like, yo, I'm telling y'all that when it comes down to it, our role is to protect the home more than it's just finances and a direction for the family. It doesn't matter. If a woman is bringing in the family, a man should know where to put the money. He should know, all right, bet. So this is what's extra. We're going to put this over here and let that grow. Because if that grows and that sets up aside for this and that, though, we're going to move this around. He still should have a plan. I don't want to hear that, oh, but he cook and clean and all that. Nah, he still got to have a plan. Like, and she got to be with the plan. She got to look at money as just what it is. It's a tool. It's not a means of hierarchy. Just because your woman might bring more money in than you doesn't level the hierarchy. Like, she shouldn't have, that don't level the hierarchy because of who bring in more money. That don't mean nothing. The money should be used to, especially if y'all in unison. That's what I'm saying about, listen, that's why if she picked the right leader, because it's up to the woman. Remember, the man going to ask. It's up to you to say yes. So if you say yes to that, then, if he's saying like, listen, let's do this. Let's take the extra and do that. Let's not go out this month. Let's take the more money we was going to go out. Let's put it over here. Let that grow this month. Let's have a plan. The ultimate goal is to get our time back. The ultimate goal is not to bring more people into your life just so y'all could still be going out here in a routine. The goal is that the more people that you got in your life, the more you should be able to get your time back. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But at the end of the day, y'all, I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. I don't see life outside of freedom. I don't care about all the other things that people want in their life. I see freedom. Each and every day is what I look at, or what my version of freedom is. And I'm saying to y'all, it has nothing to do with the fact of spending money, but it has something to do with the fact where money is not an issue. Wherever you want to be to wake up that following day, you can be there, because all we get is that day. We don't get yesterday. It's gone. And we don't get the future because it's not here yet. All we get is what we're in right now. So if right now I wake up in where I'm at, and then tomorrow I wake up in Puerto Rico, and then the next day I wake up in Jamaica, that's freedom. So I don't want to hear it. That's just for me. Y'all can do whatever y'all want. I ain't mad at y'all, or whoever feel like they want, or whatever it is. I'm not mad. Do you think our society is trying to bring down masculinity in the Black community? Well, I think it's trying to do it across the board. It's not just in our community. I think they trying to do it across the board, B. They don't want you to be in the, like what I'm talking right now is probably going to get flagged, because a lot of my content, they get shadow banned because of how I give it up. But I'm still shooting the clip. So what I'm saying to you, I think it's all across the board when it comes to masculinity, because they have so many different things out here trying to allow women to be exactly like men, because you got men out here fighting to be women, fighting to be in women's sports, and fighting to be able to look and call themselves a woman because they dress like one. I've never seen where the women are not out here fighting to be men, even if they choose to be in that. Like studs out here, they're not out here with all these coalitions of different things trying to fight to be men and fighting to go in bathrooms and all that. It's only men. Men always trying to do something extra. So it's men that's even against men's masculinity. It's not even just, we can't even put it on women, because it's men too. They fighting their best to go be a woman. Like they wanted to make it seem like it's so cool for you not to be a man, for you not to be a person that accepts your role, and not to be able to stand on it, and then give people the option. Number one thing about being a man is also giving people in your life the option, yo. Like you don't force nobody. That's why you don't need to lie to nobody about who you are. You give them an option. Let them choose. People are gonna choose you. If you're a real leader, listen, it's gonna resonate. Your aura, your energy. It's going to resonate. You're going to draw the people to you. The people who are not supposed to be there, they're going to move them. They're going to remove themselves. They're supposed to. You don't have to argue and fight with anybody about who you are, especially if you're a man and you know who you are. This is you. And if the person accepts you for who you are, it comes with that. You got to accept them for who they are as well, too. It doesn't change your position, though. So I do think that, bro. But it's up to people like us to not let that ride. And yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be a lot of men even agree with what I said tonight. I don't care. The goal is not to get a bunch of people to agree with me anyway. That's not the purpose of this platform. The platform is to give out information. You do what you want with it, but it's to spark a conversation. Hopefully that these would be talking points that people could talk to with their significant other. They don't have to remember my words verbatim. They can always rewind the tape. And then boom, there it is. And now it's a discussion that could be had in the home. What do you think about this? Nobody should get mad over another person's opinion. There should be no arguments in the home about people trying to get perspective, ever. Whenever it comes down to two grown adults in a house or however many adults in a house having a discussion and it turns into an argument, that's the worst type of relationship to ever be in, because perspective should never make people angry. It's only a place of understanding. If you agree with it or you don't, but it's perspective. It's not changing of your mind. Just because a person thinks differently from you doesn't mean that they got to change your mind. It's a perspective. Should never be arguing over perspective, yo. Just like now, nobody should ever be mad at me over my perspective. If anything, you either agree with it or you don't. But that's it. Mad at me? Yo, listen. I can dig it, yo. But anyway, listen. I'm out of here, all right? Because look, we got next week. We got more. I got more videos. It's so many more different points to talk about. I want to make sure that we get this information out here to y'all, man. All right. So I do got guests lined up, but until I really have them in the position to lock in, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of different things going on this time of the year. It's a lot of homecomings going on this time of the year. And also, you know, hurricane season is coming up. And also the holidays. You know how that goes. So with that being said, there's a lot of that going on. So I have to be mindful of that when it comes down to my guests and scheduling. So I got it for y'all. We got the information. We're gonna get the show. We're gonna keep the show rolling. We got it. All right, let me see. We got one more comment before we go. Masculinity is majority applied to non-Western societies, especially in East Asia, Latin, Middle East, and African culture. Yeah, that's true. And over there, a lot of women, you know, and it's a balance, right? Because over here, we just need the respect of being a leader. We don't want to control women as if to say you got to wear this and you can't go here and you can't do this and you can't pursue your dreams. You just need to align up with the vision of the family, right? But over there, yeah, they got those traditions, but a lot of those women have no rights either in those positions. They don't get to live no type of dream. Their dream is just to serve, which it could be depending on the type of man that is. But if there's a man that really just wants a woman to serve him, then there's places where he could go get that. But if there's a man who actually wants a woman in his life and or people in his life, like, let's just be honest, to help grow more than what they have and to be a part of people's dreams and visions and align with their goals and to have more than, you get what I'm saying? That should be just as respected as well too. But you're right. In these other countries, masculinity is applauded. But over here, not so much so. So, you know, if you are one, you just got to stand on it, because as long as you stand in your square, then people who are not supposed to be there, they're going to remove themselves. You don't have to fuss and fight nobody to be in your space, yo. Word. But look, man, y'all know the vibe. Thank y'all to everybody that commented. Thank y'all to everybody that watched tonight, man. I'm telling y'all, man, we're going to keep going each and every week. Every Tuesday night, 8 p.m., we're going to be live right here giving it to y'all, man. So thank y'all all for joining me. Thank y'all all for watching the playbacks. Thank y'all all for pushing play on the new content that just dropped today, Stormed In Part 3, and all of the other content that we dropped so far. I definitely appreciate y'all for all the orders of collective wear. Thank y'all so much. I got got a really big order I got to go work on for the rest of the week before we get out of here. So thank y'all to all of y'all. Also, thank you to everybody that's going to show up to 420 in the fall this Saturday, man. I'm already looking forward to the vibe. It's going to be a joint. We're going to have spades going on out there. We're going to have what you call that, cornhole. Hey, listen, cornhole is one of them things I believe y'all is going to turn into an Olympic game coming up soon. Word. But yeah, it's gonna be a vibe. We got vendors, you know what I'm saying, the whole nine. It's just gonna be a vibe. We're gonna be out there. We're gonna be chilling. Lipsticks is sponsoring it. We got different companies and brands that'll be out there. We got the food vendors that's gonna be out there. We got, oh man, it's gonna be live. We got DJ Sin City out there. It's just gonna be a vibe, man, for the fall, man. Bringing a bunch of people together, man, to kind of put some things together, network, and get it moving, man. Keep building our brand, yo. So definitely shout out to y'all. So until next week, y'all know the vibes. Like I say all the time, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So until next week, y'all, peace.